In the headlines, SANU and NASU suspend strike action for 2 months. NBC gives shutdown broadcast stations till Tuesday to pay debts. Traders count losses as Borno government demolishes cattle market. And lastly, on the foreign scene, 13 killed as Somali forces end 30-hour Mogadishu hotel siege. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Updates. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Allied and Education Institutions on Saturday announced the suspension of their ongoing strike for a period of 2 months. SANU's National President Muhammad Ibrahim disclosed this in Abuja. The unions had called for the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement, payment of earned allowances, and separation of non-academic career positions by vice-chancellors, the inclusion of university staff school into the university community, and non-payment of minimum wage arrears, as well as funding of state universities. The strike by SANU and NASU has led to suspension in the issuance of academic transcripts and mobilization of graduates from the compulsory one-year service organized by the National Youth Service Corps. And the police in Zamfara State has begun a discreet investigation into the death of a lawyer who was reportedly shot dead at the Gusau bypass. And Zamfara State Police Public Relations Officer Muhammad Shehu told Trust TV that investigation had commenced not to just only unravel the circumstances surrounding the killings, but also review the perpetrators with a view to apprehending them and making them face justice. The victim, Barrister Benedict Azar, who was killed on Thursday night, is a principal associate of Benedict Tangi Legal Practitioners Gusau and Zamfara State. Sources within the area said that the gunman wanted to kidnap the victim in his residence at Saminaka area behind Federal Road Safety Corps bypass in Gusau Metropolis, but he was able to escape with his car. The gunman later chased the lawyer to the expressway where they shot him dead. An official of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, in Katsina State, Mahibba Taiwo Abdusalam is arrested over alleged murder of her boss, Julius Haruna. Until his death, Haruna was the Northwest Zonal Coordinator of the Commission. He was killed in his office after the suspect accused him of sexual harassment, the police said. The spokesperson of the Katsina Police Command, SV Gamboyi, says that the suspect has reportedly done a certain report for which he demanded 80,000 naira. However, Haruna directed the cashier to pay her 4,000 naira, saying that she did not work up to the amount she demanded. SP Isa said an argument ensued between the suspect and the deceased in his office in the presence of the cashier, who later left them in fierce argument. The police said that the victim allegedly manhandled the deceased, tore his clothes and took his nude picture. Abdusalam rushed to the GRA police station and filed a complaint against the deceased for alleged sexual harassment. Police statement says investigation revealed that the suspect has fought 4 previous directors who were there before the deceased. He said investigation into the matter was ongoing. He also said that after the report at the police station, some police officers were said to have followed her to the director's office, only to meet him lifeless on the floor with bruises on his body. And police operators attached to Kurfi Divisional Police Headquarters have appealed a terrorist attack and have put down an unspecified number of the attackers in the process. About 40 terrorists armed with AK-47 rifles attacked Wakba village in Kurfi local government area and whisked away the persons who were rescued in a counter-attack. Abdullahi Mahdi has details on this and other happenings in Katsina State.
Responding to a distress call from the affected villagers, the divisional police officer in Kurfi mobilized his men blocked all the exit routes to and from Wapa village. Moving forward, the tactical operatives, with the support of vigilantes and people from the surrounding communities, engaged the terrorists in gun battle and rescued the kidnapped victims. Many of the terrorists were killed and several others escaped with gunshot wounds during the encounter. The police are now combing the nearby bushes with a view to recovering the wounded and the dead bodies of the terrorists. We need to have an accurate information and a collaboration that works between security operatives and communities, especially on the bandit movement. The synergy must continue until the terrorists are defeated. The rescued victims have since reunited with their families, thanking the police operatives of Kurifi Local Government Division for their quick response. We were attacked and abducted by unknown gunmen, and as God would have it, we were rescued. The police and our local vigilantes responded swiftly. Many thanks to all of them. The police and other local vigilantes deserve commendation, but our state actors, a lot needs to be done. Many communities no longer sleep. We are always at work, maintaining vigilance throughout the day and night. We are exhausted. The successful rescue operation is a clear indication that collaboration between security personnel and communities affected by the phenomenon will lead to the terrorists being defeated. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And away from Katsina State, the police in Yobe State said 2 soldiers arrested in connection with the killing of a renowned Islamic scholar, Sheikh Goni Al-Samiu, murdered on Friday evening while on his way to Gashua from Kano. Multiple local sources allege that the cleric was killed by the soldiers after giving them a lift from Guru military checkpoint to Jajimaji, a nearby community on the Karasua local government area of Yobe State. Reports said he was shot dead while his car, a red Honda Accord, was taken away by the soldiers before they were apprehended by the police. Confirming the incident, spokesman for the Yobe State Police Command, Dungas Abdul Karim, said the 2 arrested soldiers are Lance Corporal John Gabriel and Lance Corporal Adamu Gideon of 241 Battalion in Guru, Yobe State. He said that the 2 suspects have been taken to Criminal Investigation Department of the Command in Damaturu for investigation. The popular Islamic scholar was buried on Saturday in Gashua town of Yobe State amid cheers by thousands of his students, family members as well as associates. A renowned civil rights activist in Osun State, Comrade Ayodeji Ologun, has faulted the no work, no pay policy the federal government wants to apply on striking university lecturers. He described the position of the Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, that federal government will not pay salaries of members of academic staff union of universities for the period they were on strike, and that was insensitive, according to the renowned activist. He also said this alongside 2 lecturers in separate exclusive interviews with Trust TV's Hamido Igbade in Oshogbo, and he justified the payment of the salary of lecturers for the period of the ASU strike. The report.
I think it is very insensitive on the part of government to insist that lecturers will not be paid salary for the number of months that they've been on strike. Number one, it negates the labor law. There's no law in the country as we speak, either in the industrial court or in the recognized labor law, that says that people should not go on strike and that when they go on strike, they should not be paid. That's number one. Number two, it is also a common knowledge that lecturers do beyond just lecturing. As they are on strike now, lecturers go to their offices to do researches, they still carry out community services, some of them write papers, they write articles, they contribute to journals.
As we are on strike now, we are embarking on a series of research that will generate invention that can move the nation forward. And apart from that, for anybody to feel that, you know, when we are on strike, we are not working. We are working. We are doing the other two aspects of the work, research and community service. Not only that, the labor law stipulates that workers have the right to go on strike, and the employers have no right to stop their salary, because when they are on strike, it is because government has not done the needful. If government revitalizes the universities and the polytechnics, and we have facilities in the classroom, why should we not go and do our job? And I'm challenging the government. The day they provide all the facilities we require in the classroom, in the universities and the polytechnics, any lecturer that fails to go to work should be dealt with according to the law.
It's unfortunate that there are Olu thinking individuals who will not know the import of this ASUU strike, especially on the society generally. We have lost a student of Aladuk Agricultural University to kidnapping now. Only God knows the number of students who have been affected like that. Ritual killing, accidents. Some of them have even been impregnated because they are not in classrooms. And of course, we say the devil, idle hand makes work for the devil. That is another angle. Government should ensure that these monies are paid and the ASUU demands are, fulfilled.
Away from educational matters, following the intervention of the Nigerian chapter of the International Press Institute, the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has suspended the revocation of the operating licenses of 52 broadcast stations owing various sums in licensing fees. The NBC has now given the affected stations up to 6 p.m. on Tuesday, August 23, to pay up their debts. And revoking the licenses on Friday, the Commission had ordered the stations off air beginning this Saturday, citing Section 10 subsection A of the third schedule of the National Broadcasting Commission Act, Capt. Number 11, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. After the announcement, the IBI Nigeria engaged Ministry of Information and Culture, the NBC and the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria to explore amicable resolution of dispute leading to the suspension of the ban. The Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union of Nigeria, RATAWO, on Saturday said the revocation of radio and television stations' licenses can escalate current security challenges in the country. And General Secretary of RATAWO, A. Akwoso, in a statement said the ravaging insecurity of lives and properties requires the Nigerian state to make information flow as free as possible. Akwoso urged the regulatory agency to be lenient with most of the defaulting stations as they are yet to recover from the impact of COVID-19. The RATAWO scribe also called on the federal government to give special COVID-19 palliative to broadcast stations, considering the laudable role they played during the lockdown rather than shutting them down. And still reacting to the revocation of licenses, the revocation of licensing of the Gombe Media Corporation, GMC, by the National Broadcasting Commission, the Gombe state-owned broadcast says its station will be back on air within the next 72 hours. Speaking to Trust TV in Gombe, the Director General of Gombe Media Corporation, Kabiru bin Mohammed, said payment for license renewal is being processed to that effect. The report.
Gombe Media Corporation is a pioneer radio and television broadcaster in Gombe State. The state-run media organization is owing the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) license renewal fees for almost 8 years.
The amount is almost inherited because the previous government have been defaulters for about 8 years or 10 years. Because it backdates to 2013 to date. So they have not settled anything. So we have just come, and everyone within the state and even outside knows how we came in with a lot of financial problems in the state. We have already processed. I believe even the immediate last executive council, a mention was made about the license fee, and the governor is ready to make payments immediately. But unfortunately, today they have taken us by surprise, I can say, because they have given us actually a grace of time. That is why we took our time to also process.
Media experts say the revocation of the license of GMC and other broadcasters in the country by the regulator will affect smooth flow of information to Nigerians.
I know there are a lot of stations in Nigeria that are not paying or updating their license. But I think the timing is wrongly, and I want to believe that this is not the right time for NBC to take such a decision. But if you look at it, the situation we found ourselves, especially in the media cycle, despite the fact that we were having a lot of issues, most of the media outlets were affected because of these issues of COVID, and we all know what happened globally. And at the same time, the recent one was as a result of this issue, crisis between, or war between Ukraine and Russia. We all know that it has affected the economy, and I believe that is why, I don't want to speak for the media outlets, but I believe that is one of the reasons why media outlets cannot afford to pay or renew their license.
On Friday, the National Broadcasting Commission NBC revoked licenses of more than 50 broadcast stations across the country over failure to renew operational licenses. The unpaid debt amounts to over 2 billion naira. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
You're watching Trust TV News Updates. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at how EFCC tackles Gombe land scammers. Details of this and other stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Trust TV News Update. Before the rest of the news, a recap of our top stories. We told you that SANU and NASU suspend strike action for 2 months. And the NBC gives shut-down broadcast stations till Tuesday to pay debts. And moving on, hundreds of shop owners are counting their losses after witnessing their structures being demolished at Kasuwan Shanu in Maiduguri. The market is the largest animal market in Borno State, where customers come from far and near to buy and sell trade. The report.
The cattle market in Maiduguri is fondly called Kasuwan Shanu and has been a center of attraction for cattle dealers. Today, hundreds of shops have been demolished for reasons the traders described as owing none to the government. The demolition has caused other traders to fear for their goods, and as they are uncertain about what happens next. Modu Bukar, who runs a restroom facility that was partially brought down, said he and his colleagues were given few hours to vacate before the demolition exercise. Now I'm jobless because I cater for my family with what I get here. At this moment, I rely on God's hand. I engage in farming. I stopped because of age. I seriously want the government to do something. They destroyed our shops without compensation. They didn't tell us where to relocate. We have been into cattle business for 50 years. We call on the government to intervene because we are not happy.
As we know, the economic hardship facing a lot of us in Nigeria, which is largely due to the incompetence of the APC administration, and for them to take such actions, I think is really not appropriate at this time. They should have given ample time, given ample opportunity to remove their goods, and then be given like another place where they can temporarily put their shit and sell their wares.
There are fears that with the market gradually transforming to an open field, it could signal the closure of Kasuan Shanu market. However, some traders believe that whether or not the market is closed, business will continue in the open.
And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says Gombe State is battling a high rate of land fraud. The Deputy Commandant of EFCC Academy stated this in an interview with newsmen after a one-day capacity building for staff of Gombe Geographic Information System on curbing land fraud. Ismail Ibrahim has more details.
EFCC said land fraud tops the list of all scams in Gombe State and is happening on a daily basis. To tackle the menace, the EFCC Academy is partnering Gombe Geographic Information System GOGIS to build capacity for stakeholders in land administration.
Identify land fraud to be one of the major crimes, especially here in Gombe. And there's a need for the two agencies or two institutions to put heads together to sensitize both its staff to ensure that we are sailing towards the same direction, which is finding out the criminals involved in this huge crime and to ensure that it is minimized within the Gombe metropolis.
The Director General of GOGIS said the agency is collaborating with traditional institutions and relevant government agencies to curb land scams across the state.
So if you look at this issue, we cannot handle this issue alone. We have to seek for an expert, which is Economic and Financial Crime Commission, because they have some advanced gadget which they can trace the good one and the bad ones among the papers presented to us.
The senior district head of Gombe, Alhaji Abdul Qadir Abubakar, is worried that traditional institutions are not adequately involved in land issues in a modern-day society.
Yawanci abubuwan da suke faruwa.
Most of the issues are very big. There must be a reform from local government.
Daga ainihin mu local government.
Committee on Land Advisory at the LGA level must be constituted. It has the chairman, the district head, and custodian of the land. To address the problem of land fraud in Gombe State, stakeholders say government agencies working in the land sector must collaborate with security agencies to checkmate document forgery. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And away from Nigeria, Somali forces have ended a 30-hour siege of a hotel in country's capital, Mogadishu, according to military officials, with security forces clearing explosives planted by fighters in the building. At least 13 civilians were killed and dozens were wounded in the siege, which began when fighters from the Al-Shabaab armed group unleashed a gun and bomb attack on the popular Hayat Hotel on Friday evening. Dozens of people were trapped in the hotel when the assault began, and although officials said dozens had been rescued, including children, it is not known how many were still inside when the siege ended. And in sport, Britain's Leon Edwards sensationally knocked out Kamaru Usman to win the welterweight title at UFC 278 in Salt Lake City, Utah. Behind on points in the fifth, Edwards, who's 30, landed a left high kick to stun Nigeria's pound-for-pound #1 fighter. Edwards became the first British champion since Michael Bisping in 2016 and only the second in history. Still in sport, Anthony Joshua's bid to recapture the unified heavyweight title ended in disappointment as Alexander Usyk produced a terrific performance to win by split decision in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. In a clash billed at the Rage on the Red Sea, a spirited Joshua, 32, showed some aggressiveness and intent, a vast improvement from their first fight, but could not match the brilliance of the Ukrainian, who improved his record to 20 wins from 20 contests. Two judges scored the fight 115 to 113 and 116 to 112 to Usyk, and the third gave it 115 to 113 to Joshua. While there were some close rounds, Usyk in just his fourth bout since moving up from cruiserweight to heavyweight was the deserved winner at the end of the fight. A furious Joshua quite bizarrely picked up two of Usyk's belts, dropped them out of the ring and strolled towards the dressing room before turning round and getting back into the ring to give an impassioned speech. And with that, we have come to the end of the news updates at this hour. For more, you can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.